it's Jen the Spooky Ghoul, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am finally getting to frame these miniature tombstones from Salem. They're so cool. And while I work on that, I thought I'd catch you up on some of my antiquing and Halloween adventures from the weekend. It's gonna be one of those chill at home chatty vlogs. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. I'll try not to break these things with my rings. Oh my God, they're delicate. All right, let's get spooky. So this miniature tombstone is from a company that is based out of Massachusetts called the Gravestone Girls. They create replicas and castings inspired by real New England-based tombstones. So this one in particular is probably one of the most infamous visuals and one of my favorites. This design is named Applefoot. When I got the order, it actually came with this tiny little card that provided some history behind where they got the actual visual from. And it's from Mrs. Priscilla Avalon out of Ipswich, Massachusetts. Aside from being a huge history buff and a morbid one at that, these guys are gonna fit perfectly with my all year round Gothic decor. Though this is gonna be pulling double duty for Halloween decor. You can make this into like a graveyard theme, a ghost theme, a witch theme. Like pretty much if there's a graveyard involved, it's perfect for Halloween. So my initial setup, I was like chest level with the island. It was not working. So the camera's a little bit farther away, but just know we're still connected, no worries. I went to At Home and I got some frames, this is what I'll be using to frame these tombstones. So let me tell you about the antiquing adventure as I'm wielding this butter knife. I go to a antique shop, I believe it's called Traditions. It's in Wildwood, Florida. And they're definitely not a thrift store. They're more high-end antique. I would say like medium priced to higher end. Not saying that you could not get a steal there. I have in the past, but you really have to look and kind of get lucky. There's a particular booth we've been stalking for years. I mean like 2 years already. They have inside the paper mache jack-o'-lanterns from the 30s and 40s, but they are astronomically priced. And I'll insert some footage as well. They're beautiful, but they will stay out of my grasp. I always joke that if I ever do win the lotto, there will be signs, and it'll just be me buying a bunch of vintage paper mache jack-o'-lanterns. Which gets me thinking a lot because I do like to create and do DIYs and all of that fun stuff. Oh, I'm reaching for paper. I always say, like, what's standing between myself and a vintage piece? And it's just time. So with that thought, I'm like, heck, I'm gonna be making an army of jack-o'-lantern paper mache pumpkins this summer. That is my goal because for this Halloween, I really would love to do a vintage Halloween theme. I'm gonna do a couple of other themes, including a witch theme, because man, this year feels like the year of the witch, or the season of the witch, I should say. But man, the vintage Halloween stuff has me in a chokehold. I'm sure y'all can understand. So just to show you what I'm doing, I got some cardstock from Michael's. I've had this for a while. What's great about the cardstock is that it's acid-free. So if you put photos on it or anything like this, for example, it won't eat away or discolor it. And this is what I'll be mounting the tombstones on. What else did they have? Oh yeah, they had 2 Halloween pails, which could be vintage, though I think that vintage now is like 25 years or older, which is insane to think about. So they could have very well been vintage pails. And then a box of like old candles, which I have one very similar. I got it last year. They were priced for like $9.99, I believe. Oh, and they had this, I don't know what he was. He was like a candelabra, but he was like a ghoul, like a skeleton ghoul. I don't know what he was, but he was great. I did not pick up anything that day. So I just put a little bit of E6000 on the back. Typically, if I'm gonna mount something, I would you can buy little spacers at the Dollar Tree or really anything, like a tiny little like block, glue it to your piece or tape it to your piece, and that's what it rests on, so it looks like it's floating. And since these are magnets, they have their own built-in spacer, and I'm just gonna put that on here. That's it, pretty simple. One down, I'm gonna put this in the frame itself, just kind of sitting there so it can dry. It's gonna take a while, but I can move on to the next one. Oh, all right, we're good. It's gonna look so cool. Yay. All right, put that aside. Then we went to At Home this weekend and I was shook. Y'all, they had the floor lamp, like the one I just made. They had it there. So I saw it in the flesh. Here's some photos and footage I took up. I'm just gonna put it right here so you can see it. It's in the wild. I saw it in the wild. I gotta say, I'm really happy with the one I made. I'm relieved. For $150? No ma'am. I got jack-o'-lanterns to make. They had this year, remember the bus lady, like the beautiful veiled woman? I don't know if she's veiled or not, but she definitely has like a bow in her hair. She's gorgeous. Last year they had her and she was covered in moss. Well, this year they painted her darker. Oh, it's beautiful. Then they had the witch, like the tall Cracker Barrel witch. She was definitely made out of plaster and she also lit up. She has like a green light. They had a cat lamp and that one was $80, I believe. The toads are back this year. I love the large toads. We were actually gonna buy like a massive toad. It was $40. I'll hold off on that, but that's my dream. I just want a very large toad. That's all I want. I have the small ones. I figured for the witch theme this year, I can just see like a cauldron and like a big old toad and like a small, like little small toads. To spend $40, I may not, and just work with what I have. And then if I need something, then I'll purchase. Explain that to like a non-Halloween-y person. What? A $40 toad.
Hello, Mommy. Hello. Yeah? Want to play? Yeah? Oh, good girl. Good girl.
Oh, so I might as well just jump right into it with Michael's, right? I'm sure you've been seeing all of the reels on like Instagram and TikTok or whatever. I was in Michael's trying to find frames and I walk in not thinking at all they were gonna even have Halloween, and lo and behold, my Michael's had the Celestial. It was Magic Bound, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, Bound by Magic, if I'm not mistaken. And they were just getting up the really like psychedelic, bright summer Halloween type Halloween decorations up, which was really exciting to see. For the Bound by Magic though, really leaned into the turn of the century Houdini, you know, sawing the girl in half. They had a lot of curio boxes. What else did they have? They had pillows. There was one piece. It was a candle holder, and I need another like candelabra candle holder. Like I need a hole in my head. So I was like, nope, time out. I can't get it. But it was these chain link, like they were soldered, but they were like chain link shaped into a candle holder. It was so dope. It was so, so cool. Mr. Ghoul really loved those. He was like contemplating it. Okay, last one. We're on the last one. And these guys gotta dry. Last one I'm gluing, so exciting. What I like about these, you know, this quick project, doesn't have to be perfect. Pretty neat. All right, off to dry. So while my tombstones are drying in their frames, I wanted to show you what I actually scored this weekend. So while At Home and Michael's are tempting me to buy everything, I've held out. Because I got him, an Empire Ghost. He's like my white whale. I'll talk a little bit more about him. So this little guy is a vintage Halloween mold of a ghost. Love the face here, and holding a jack-o'-lantern. The design actually dates back to Empire Plastics, which is one of the companies most responsible for all of the iconic Halloween designs. So the ghost, the jack-o'-lantern, the black cat, anything you could possibly think of, Empire Plastics was responsible, along with other companies as well, but Empire was a major one. Unfortunately, after Empire closed, their designs lived on through a company named General Foam Plastics, which is the version that I have here. What's really neat about this design is, one, it's just like that 3D look and that like face that the ghost has. It's perfect. And then as well as the happy jack-o'-lantern. Nowadays, I think they're starting to replicate this particular design, but it's not quite the Empire design. But most of the jack-o'-lanterns today are like scary, and these are the happy jack-o'-lantern. And the research that I did on this particular blow mold, this one is definitely not an Empire original that would be like from the 60s and 70s, because this is general foam with the Empire design. I personally think that this is more than likely 1990s, which shocks me considering I was a kid in the 90s, but I think that's considered vintage. Help, I'm old. And it does light up. Let me show you the back real quick. Oh my gosh. Why am I struggling? It's very light. It's mostly because I don't want to break it. So here, this is the lighting kit, which we have ordered a brand new lighting kit. This works just fine, but we don't want the house to burn down. So just taking precautions, we will easily replace this. But man, I think I might still just keep the backing, because here it says like General Foam Plastics Corp. From Norfolk, Virginia. So here in the good old USA. So now I'm gonna plug it in and I'll show you. It still works. And there we are. Isn't he awesome? Look at that face. Oh, I love his little cheeks. And I will say, he's probably gonna be my first and last blow mold. Probably famous last words, but honestly, there's no one that I ever wanted but the Empire design ghost. So I think this is it. All right, that's what I scored. Oh, if you're curious, he was $65, but 20% off. They had this like 4th of July sale. So 20% off, 65. Considering all of the blow molds that I've always seen and at home, and no hate on at home, but blow molds are really expensive. And as much as I love the new designs and I think they're so much fun, I really wanted a vintage style. So I'm glad that I held out for all of these years. I finally found them for a dang good price. Not too shabby. Not too shabby for plastic. Anyway, let's go check the frames. These are not quite done just yet, but I at least got the main project done. They are in and glued down. I still want to patina this gold into more of like a silver or a pewter. Also, I want to see if I can add some like cutout, like laser wood cutouts to make this a little bit more ornate and gothic. So I'll do this for a future video. I hope you had a great time with me today doing the project and chatting about Halloween. What's crazy is that it's still only June. So we have the entire season ahead of us. I'm really excited to see what Michael's and At Home and everyone else drops in regards to Halloween decor this season. But what is really bobbing my apples is the DIY stuff. I desperately want to do some more projects this season because I want to use those pieces to decorate this fall. We're in the midst of still selling the house, so not sure, but fingers crossed I can make that happen. So thank you so much for watching and spending some of your day with me. And as always, come and say hi down in the comments below. You know I love talking to you. And until next time, my friends, stay spooky.